high above the world's edge, where oxygen thins and hunger becomes science, one man asked a question no climber had before. What does survival really taste like?
It's 2:20 a.m. I'm still buried in the Himalayan Club Journals, century-old field notes from the Himalayas. It's like diving deep into the documented history of the Himalayas from the early 1900s. The journals cover everything, from indigenous wisdom, cultural myths, to epic expeditions and groundbreaking discoveries. These forgotten stories are brought to life by synthetic voices in the Himalayan Journals podcast. Subscribe, zone out, binge, and pass it to a fellow mountain junkie.
What did climbers really need to eat high in the Himalaya, where the air thinned and the cold bit deep? Dr. G.A.J. Teasdale asked this, then set about answering it. He studied Lieutenant J. Waller's Karakoram parties, designed their food lists, and read the reports that came back. He found two problems in the prevailing ideas: a grim lack of palatability in many products and an uncritical borrowing from Arctic diets. Dr. Teasdale set out the aims. Food had to be compact, low in water and all substance. It had to keep well, travel from England through heat to cold, and survive rough handling. It had to taste acceptable. It had to deliver the greatest calories per pound without harming health. It had to be manageable in cold. Above all, it had to suit the mountaineer's physiology at altitude, which differed from the Arctic case. He argued that the true limit on a high mountain was not foot-pounds of work, but oxygen. At 24,000 feet, a climb of 1,000 feet could feel formidable, yet the mechanical work might be less than a city worker's commute. Energy in the body came from burning proteins, fats, and carbohydrates with atmospheric oxygen. Carbohydrates carried enough oxygen within their molecules to oxidize their hydrogen, while fats and proteins demanded much more air. Since only about 4% of inspired air was retained at sea level and far less at altitude, incomplete oxidation became dangerous. He believed this lay under mountain sickness and allied troubles, and he concluded that food should demand as little oxygen as possible. Cold air made matters worse by constricting the lung capillaries. He even suggested a simple device to warm inspired air, akin to a service gas mask with the container worn inside clothing. From basics, proteins repaired tissue, fats generated heat, carbohydrates gave energy. Excess protein could not be stored in overworked digestion and excretion. Fats were concentrated but slow to handle, and more than 5 ounces a day at sea level led to trouble. Carbohydrates burned quickly and could convert to fat for reserve, so he favored frequent carbohydrate intake despite its bulk. He linked deterioration, mountain sickness, and diarrhea to faulty diet, and described a cycle of loss of appetite, partial starvation, loss of weight, acidosis, vomiting, and renewed distaste for food. To break it, he urged sufficient, palatable, frequent meals, plenty of sugar and raisins as alkali-forming foods, and limits on proteins and fats. Water, he said, decided fitness. On frozen slopes, it cost fuel and time, yet without it, the kidneys could not clear the debris of effort. Small volumes of dark urine told their own story. He described simple ways to find water, digging at the foot of sunlit rocks, throwing snow on warm stone and catching the trickle, blackening empty tins to speed melting. Tea, glaxo, chocolate, and soups all carried fluid, which must be taken in quantity. Vitamins also entered his plan. He judged vitamin B the most likely deficiency, essential for the digestive tract, with vitamin C supplied by fruit juices. He used yeast notably a product called yeastamine, as tablets, extract, powder, and malted milk tablets. The extract made a valued soup and a spread. He believed this solved the vitamin B question. He listed foods that proved their worth. Ginger biscuits, kept well, tasted good, and delivered over 2,000 calories per pound, though monotony could spoil them. Sugar remained vital and popular with natives. Shortbread made with dextrose reduced sweetness while keeping value, and came in malt, ginger, almond, and vanilla, sealed in tins. Cheese offered about 1,900 calories per pound, with fiddly wrappers, in cold. Chocolate stood at 2,515 calories per pound and 141 grams of fat per pound, useful, yet not to be overdone. Glaxo full cream pleased on 3 expeditions. Alcohol, he wrote, did not serve on a mountain. Stimulant drugs existed, but belonged to medical judgment, with a place for mild sedatives to aid sleep. Then he showed a full ration that worked on a recent expedition for 5 white men and 7 or 8 Sherpas. For 100 white man days, it totaled 185 pounds and 359,245 calories, which gave 3,600 calories per man per day, at 1.85 pounds per man per day without packing. Items included Glaxo, chocolate, butter, cheese, shortcake, raisins, biscuits, barley sugar, corned mutton, ham, bacon, tinned fish, fresh mutton, and jam. The party customarily brought live sheep and chickens to base camp, killed and cooked them there, and sent the meat up, a practice suited to Baltistan. The total for 100 white man days and 150 native man days reached 371 pounds and 658,429 calories, with 1,800 calories per pound. Dr. Teasdale reported the outcome. The food survived transport and rough usage. The diet perhaps tasted too sweet and left limited surface for spreads, yet it kept everyone in perfect health. There were no bowel or sickness troubles. 2 members suffered severe frostbite, 1 with wet gangrene, yet recovery was quick. The only other complaint was a sore throat from the dust of the Indus Gorge. He closed by urging climbers to study their own diets, abandon unsuitable Arctic models for high Himalayan work, and pack variety, correctness, and enough fuel for the thin air.